Welcome back to Terry's Lounge, folks. I'm your host, Toilet Terry. On this episode, we will be starting, of course, with, as usual, how many dad jokes can I tell in a minute, followed by how many yo mama jokes can I tell in a minute, and then followed by how many long storytelling jokes can I tell in 1 minute. Let's get started with the dad jokes, shall we? What did the flowers do when the bride started walking down the aisle? They rose. It takes guts to be an organ donor. What do you get from a pampered cow? Spoiled milk. What does Rockin' Robin do when he's bored? Tweet. I lost my job at the bank the other day because an old lady came in and asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over. Why did Waldo go to therapy? Because he needed to find himself. How do you row a canoe full of puppies? Get out the doggy paddle. Why were the utensils stuck together? They were spooning. Nice work on the dad jokes. Now for the yo mama jokes. Yo mama's so fat that when she burped, New Orleans thought Katrina came back to finish the job. Yo mama's so fat that when she was born, she gave the hospital stretch marks. Yo mama's so fat that when she saw a bus, she said, "Come back, Twinkie." Yo mama's so fat that when she went to the circus, the little girl said, "Can I ride the elephant?" Yo mama's so fat that whenever she sits down, they add a new country to the map. Yo mama's so fat she has to write an apology letter to Japan. Yo mama's so fat that when she plays hopscotch, she goes to Chicago, New York, and LA. Yo mama's so fat she got a parking ticket for standing at a crosswalk. Yo mama's so fat that when she went to the movies, she sat by everybody. Nice work on the yo mama jokes. Now for the long storytelling jokes. Sally's friend, Megan, said to her, "What a beautiful locket you're wearing. Is there a memento inside?" Sally says yes. She opens it and there's a lock of her husband's hair. "But Larry is still alive," Megan says. Sally says, "I know, but his hair is gone." We finally built our dream home, but the contractor had one concern: the installment of an atrium window for our walk-in shower. He said to us that he was concerned that as a result, the neighbors would be able to get a good view of us aus natural. My middle-aged wife then said to him, "Oh, it's okay. They'll only look once." I hope you guys got a good kick out of those jokes. I know I did. It is now time for...
Hold up.
Greetings, Toiletarians. I'm your host, Toilet Terry, and you guys are all watching Toilet Talk with Terry. That's me, obviously. The discussion topic for this episode is, It's a Small World. And no, I am not going to sing the song. Of all people I know, however, my grandmother BB has had the most It's a Small World moments, and she has told me all about them, and I am about to tell you all about them too. The first story she told me was the story of when she went on vacation to Brussels, Belgium. There were tourists all around town. And this old bag woman, she didn't know, kept following her everywhere. And she couldn't figure out why. At first, she didn't think that the bag woman was actually following her. She thought that they happened to be in the same place a lot by coincidence. But no, it turned out she was actually following her, and that was for a reason, but she didn't find out the real reason until later. So fast forward, she's touring the town. The bag lady is still following her, and then she hears a familiar voice. "Hey, B!" She turns around, and it's an old friend of hers from high school. A dude that she knew in high school. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "I'm here on business." And then she said to him, "Well, that's great. That's great. I'm just here on vacation. What are the odds I run into somebody I know?" He's like, "I know, right? But thank God I ran into a familiar face because I have a huge crisis on my hands. I am looking for my mother. I can't find her anywhere. She has disappeared. Can you help me?" And my grandmother was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll help you find your mother." So they start looking together, but they have no success. So they come up with an idea. "Let's split up. You go that way, I go this way. I'll look for her over here, you look for her over there." And then BB just happens to notice that the bag woman is still following her. So finally, she goes over to the bag woman and says to the bag woman, "Okay, out with it. Why are you following me everywhere?" And suddenly, before the bag woman can answer her, she hears the voice of her friend behind her say, "Mom, there you are." Yes, it turns out that the bag woman was his mother all along. It's a small world. And no, I am not about to start singing. The second story that BB told me after that story was the story of when she was going to Dallas, Texas on business. She had just landed in Dallas. She was at the airport. She went to baggage claim, got her bags, and then all of a sudden, because she's not looking where she's going, her attention span is the attention span of a gnat, she bumps into somebody who is also not looking where they're going and also has the attention span of a gnat. When they both get up off the ground, they recognize each other right away. It just so happens to be an old friend of hers from high school. She's like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing in Dallas?" And her friend says to her, "I'm here on business too." They had both had a rough start to their morning that morning, but they had a fun night catching up over dinner. It's a small world. And no, I'm still not gonna sing. The next story she told me after that one was the story of when she was on the highway one time. She looked in her rearview mirror and she saw two people on a motorcycle. She thought they looked familiar at first, but then she was like, "No, it's just my imagination." Then she looked again. "No, it's just my imagination." But then as they got closer and closer, she looked again and again and again until she realized the guy riding the motorcycle was her brother-in-law and her sister was the passenger. They just so happened to be going down the same highway at the same time. You see, her brother-in-law and sister from Alabama. So what happened next? She pulled over the car. They pulled over the motorcycle. They were like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" Her brother-in-law and sister said, "We're going to Michigan for Christmas. Where are you going?" And then she told them, "I'm going to Ohio for Christmas." It's a small world. And the fourth and final story that she told me was the story of when she once rented a beach house in South Carolina just for herself for vacation. But when she got there, a whole other family, some other people had already rented the place out. And what she found out next was that it just so happened to be old friends of hers from Decatur, Georgia. They were from Decatur, Georgia, and she lived in Alabama at the time. So what did they do? They decided to stay there together, have vacation together, catch up for the first time in years together. They splitted their rent, so it was less money for everyone. And instead of spending vacation alone, BB ended up spending her vacation with old friends. It's a small world, after all, folks. So I guess the moral of this episode is, or could be, something along the lines of, it's a small world. And that's all there is to it, really. And that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this discussion topic. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button for more upcoming content, which will be amazing. Y'all won't want to miss it? Alright, keep it real. Peace out. Hold up. It is now time again for impressions. I will be doing 10 random impressions starting right now.
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Hi, I'm the biggest idiot that America has ever known. That's all. Good morning. Sunday morning. Good morning. Sunday morning.
If you could sacrifice one person in exchange for ridding the world of COVID-19, who would it be and why did you choose Nancy Pelosi?
Yay! Yay!
Well, I hope you guys got a good kick out of those impressions. I know I did. It is now time for... What do y'all think of this idea? I printed out a bunch of Mad Lib sheets with fill in the blanks on them. I gave them to my friends and said, fill in the blanks and use the most ridiculous words, and then I will post a video of me reading it for the first time, trying not to laugh. Shall we? This story is entitled The Space Shuttle. In 1981, the U.S. launched the first real space butthole. It was named Columbia and was piloted by two brave sheep. They had practiced humping for 2 years and were expert unicorns. Columbia took off from Buttsville using its powerful first stage fart buckets and soared into the gay blue ocean. At an altitude of 666, it went into orbit around the nutsack. For people watching from Earth, It was a funky sight to see. Who could really fathom that there were two butt sacks in space? It was mind-humping. After 2 orbits, the shuttle landed casually at an Air Force trap house. It was a juicy day for the U.S. space program. Okay then. Well, that's all we have time for today here on Tall Tales with Terry. See you on the next episode. I wrote down random questions, and then I had my assistant, Teddy Tidwell, write down random words. 10 questions, 10 random words. I read the questions, he reads the words, and whatever the words are the answers. Let's get started, shall we? What does a dying dog look like? Nancy Pelosi. What does a dying cat look like? Your butt. What is your girlfriend's name? Your mom. What does your dog hate the most? Fat people. What do you call a 3-legged dog? Tubbo. Who is your mama's arch enemy? Fats Domino. What is the nastiest food you have ever tasted? Your face. What do you call a constipated turkey? An atheist. What are you most disgusted by? Fat rabbits. What is your pet hog's name? Butthole. Well, that's all we have time for, folks. I hope you guys got a kick out of that. I know I did. To conclude this episode, as usual, I will be reading 3 different letters from 3 different toiletarians. Well, supposed toiletarians, as you all probably know by now. Starting with this one. Oh, it's upside down. Oops. Dear Mama, I'm a dude and I don't have kids, okay? Seriously? I love you very, 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 okay, this is the last one, much. And I have a poem for you. Roses are red, just like your face when Dad eats our snack. That makes no sense. All right, now let's read this one. Dear Gary Hogg, I'm Toilet Terry. My name is not Gary Hogg. Thank you so much for teaching me how to think harder. It was very funny when you did the animal story. Sincerely, your friend, Natasha. That makes 0 sense. All right, last one. This is not a good one either. It says here, again, Dear Gary Hogg. For the last time, that's not my name. Thank you so much for teaching me how to be a good author. Thank you so much for teaching me how it's not about who finishes the race first. I thought it was so funny when you taught me how to say, I'm an author. Ta-da! Sincerely, your 2nd grade friend, Natasha. I never had a friend named Natasha. I hope you guys got a good kick out of this episode, just as much as I did. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button for more upcoming content, which will be amazing. Y'all won't want to miss it? Alright, keep it real. Peace out.